Hi everyone, and welcome back to Vernon Solutions, the Learn HTML tutorial using W3 Schools. We're in the HSL subchapter of the Colors chapter. We can see that HSL covers both HSL and HSLA, and we'll take two passes through this. The first will be to focus on how HSL differs from RGB and hex, and also the named colors. And the second will be to do the try-it-yourself exercises. So HSL stands for hue, saturation, and lightness. It uses numbers. The format here looks somewhat similar to RGB, where we have HSL and then parentheses followed by three numbers, but the similarity ends there because this is not a combination of red, green, and blue. The hue number goes from 0 to 360, where 0 is red, 120 is green, 240 is blue. So think of the 360 degrees on a circle or a color wheel. And so all the color information is embedded, really in the hue. And then saturation really refers to a shade of gray, where 0 is gray and 100% is the full color. So the mix is between the color itself and gray. So at 100% you don't see any gray in the color. At 0%, you don't see any color in the gray. For lightness, it's also a percentage where 0% is black, 100% is white, and there 50% is really the pure color. In fact, we can see it right here. The big surprise for me here was simply that W3 Schools did not start with tomato, which we know W3 Schools loves as a color. I looked it up with Google and found that tomato is just a hue of 9, a saturation of 100%, and a lightness of 64%. And you can see, in fact, that's identical to the examples from the two previous subchapters. I also did this to point out that you can play with these sliders with hue and saturation. And, if you want the pure colors, you can set this to 50%. And then just on the hue wheel, you can go from 0. And if you get to 120, you'll see in between there you hit a yellow between the red and green. At 120, you're at the pure green. Then you go between the green and the blue, right? And at 240, so 180 would be the middle point, I believe. Right, that's going to be your cyan or aqua. 240 is going to be, your pure blue. And then if you keep going, all the way up to 360, it's essentially 0, where you get to 359, right? So you kind of go around the wheel between red, green, and blue, and you can see your mixes there. So you should be able to get most of the colors you want, and then you can add different shades of gray and lightness. Okay. That's most of the difference between RGB, hex, and HSL, which is the one that's different. I'll just point out that in the alpha channel, we add that third number, and so notice here, if we go, we're going to start with tomato again, right, with 9, 100, and 64, and then we'll just go from 50% up and from 50% down. If we go down, we get white. If we go up, we get the pure, if we go up to 100 on the alpha, we get back to the pure tomato. You can see that looks identical. And then 50% refers to 50% opaqueness. So that's the overview of how HSL and HSLA differ from the other two methods. You can see that you can still get a really broad mix of colors, and the next video will wrap up by showing the try-it-yourself pieces.